know you know this. Then we'll have a little introduction to passive, let's say in OET. In OET. And the third thing will be we're going to practice writing plus feedback. Okay. So let's start with Mohadissa, if she's available. Kimsey, or maybe Sonia. One of you guys, could you say hello?
Hello, good morning.
Hello, Mohadissa. So, Mohadissa, what is the passive? Can you tell me?
Passive is something that the object is more important than the subject.
Ooh, say that again. I like that. So the object is more important than the subject. Yeah. When you say more important, what do you mean?
It means if we say something, the object is our main task or our main goal.
Okay. So does that okay, I agree with you, Mohadissa. Now, does that change the way we start the sentence?
Yeah, we start with the object.
We start. I'm going to change this, and I'm going to say we start the sentence with the object. Okay, because it's important.
Yes.
I agree, because it's important. Sometimes as well, though, Mohadissa, it's the action that's important. It's not always the object. Sometimes it's the action as well. But let's have an example. Mohadissa, can you make me an example of passive?
In a medicine, all the nurses perform a test for the patient. In this case, if we say as a sentence, we are not mention the nurse or the doctor. We just mention the patient and the center and the test. Like this, the patient has been prescribed or has been done the blood test.
Okay, the patient. Now, in OET, can we say, you know this, Mohadissa, can we say the patient in OET?
No, in OET we don't know, we don't say.
So
It
let's
was
say
just a sentence of
Mr. Smith. Yeah.
Mr.
So
Smith.
Mr. Smith, say that again, has been
done the test, the blood test.
Okay, interesting. Mr. Smith has been done the lab test. Now, this is an interesting one. In fact, can we go back to your other one? Because you've made a mistake here, Mohadissa, but we'll talk about this later. You said prescribed. Do you remember? You said has been prescribed. Yeah. So this is correct. Mr. Smith has been prescribed what?
We can say naloxone.
Yeah, it could be many things. Oh, let's say antibiotics, though, just to
antibiotic.
Okay, so does everyone agree that this is passive? Is everyone agreeing that this is passive?
Yes.
Now,
no,
yeah, guys. Okay, so
what is
antibiotics?
Can I say something?
Before you come in, Anthony, I want to ask the questions. So, what tense is has been? Everyone, what tense is has been?
Present perfect.
Present
perfect.
Present perfect.
So, Mohadissa, you're starting with a very difficult tense. Let's start in a simple way. What is the most simple, present simple or passive? What do we say here?
Was.
Was. Okay. So let's start with, this would be present simple. And then this week, Mohadissa, we'll look at present perfect and we'll look at other tenses. But this is the basic tense. Mr. Smith was prescribed antibiotics. Okay. So that means, Mohadissa, where is the object of the sentence?
The object of the sentence is Mr. Smith.
Yeah. And this is very important, isn't it? Like he is not the subject, he's the object. Okay. Where's the verbs? Everyone, where's the verbs?
Prescribed.
Prescribed.
In fact, I'm going to do this more accurately. So we have object like this, and then we have, is it always be verb, guys? Is it always be verb?
Yeah, we must have always be verb.
So was, were, is, right? This is be verb. So object plus be verb plus, now Petruccia, she said she's not speaking, I think, so I'll try Marwa, Catalina. What's this called? The verb, it's a noun. What is it? Catalina.
Verb.
It's a verb. Okay, what type of verb is it?
Verb 3.
It's verb 3. Okay. What does verb 3 mean? Because there might be some people who's got great English, but they don't really know the grammatical terms. So Mustafa, what is verb 3, please? What is that?
Participle, past participle. I don't
Past participle. What is past participle?
know. Third.
The third form of
Yeah.
the verb, right? So guys, eat, ate,
Eaten.
eaten. So verb 3 is which one? Which one is verb 3? Everyone.
Eaten.
Eaten.
So the third, so we use be. We use be verb. Now, be verb, just to be clear, sometimes people get confused on this. Omi, be verb in the present tense is am, are, and present tense. Can anyone help? Am, are, is. Okay, this is present tense, present be verb. What's past be verb?
Was, there,
Where?
Okay, so we're always going to use, sometimes you can use the present, sometimes you can use the past. Usually it will be the past, okay, like was. Mr. Smith was prescribed antibiotics. What about object? Catalina, what is an object, please? We just started and we said object. Well, what is that? Catalina, if she's not available, I'll try.
I'm available. I'm
Really?
available.
Go on.
The object is the person who made the action.
Not quite, actually. That's the opposite. That's the
No, subject. Subject is the person who made the action, and object is the person who supports the action.
Received. Yeah.
Receive the action, yes.
That's usually what we say. Now, it's not exactly true, but more or less it's correct. So person who did the action, and then object is person who, you said again, person who received. Yeah. And sorry about all these questions, but guys, what does receive mean? Anyone? Receive is?
Action.
get,
It's like get, isn't it? Or obtain, right? What else does receive mean? Receive. It's like catch, right? So this is some basic grammar, but I just wanted to quickly review it with you guys. Okay, so look, this is passive in the present simple. The subject is the person who did the action. The object is the person who received the action. Now, Mohadissa, you said that we start with the object. Agreed, Mohadissa?
Yes.
So Mr. Smith is actually the object. So that means, is he prescribing?
No, he received.
He's
He
not.
received the antibiotic.
So who is prescribing? Who's doing the action?
The medical team.
How do I say that? How do I say the subject?
We can say at the end of Mr. Smith was prescribed antibiotic by doctors.
I'll put blank. Okay. Now, here's an interesting question for all of you. In OET, do I need to give the subject usually?
no,
No, we don't.
No. So I'm going to put this into grey. All right. We don't actually normally give the subject here. Why is that? Mustafa, why do we use passive, Mustafa? Sorry, in OET, because this is an OET class, right? There's many reasons.
Change the attention, maybe.
Go on.
Change to attention.
So change attention to what?
The action done by.
It could be the action, or it could be the what?
Alan,
action,
Mustafa, who's this? Who is that?
Mr. Smith, object.
Is Mr. Smith the medical professional?
No,
So what is
he's a patient.
the patient, guys? Okay, so this is really, really important. I'm going to put it in yellow.
I want.
And actually, usually it would be, I'm going to put it like this, change attention to the patient or action. Okay. This is really, really important now. Okay, Tasnim, do you have a quick question? And Anthony, if you
But
want.
this
Alain?
was prescribed, known as the past simple.
Yes,
Passive.
I would like to ask,
You
Okay,
said
so
it's
we
present
can't,
simple.
we can't all speak at the same time. Okay, so Tasnim, one more time.
Yes, just I want to ask, it confused me. You said Mr. Smith was prescribed, and you said it's present simple. It's past simple.
Oh, sorry, yeah, it's past simple. Let's just say it's simple. It's simple, okay? But you're right, this is past simple. It's just my mistake. Sorry, Tasnim. Is that the same for you, Catalina, yeah? It's the same question? If it's going to be present simple, what do I say, guys, for present?
Is prescribed.
Yes.
It is. And you know this, you all know this. It's very simple stuff. Okay, so we change the attention to the patient. That's why we use passive, okay? It sounds more, what does it sound more?
Formal.
Yeah, it sounds more formal. Angela, what does that mean?
Like professional for Alan.
Professional, okay? We don't talk about ourselves. In medicine, we don't talk about ourselves. We talk about the patient only. That's the idea, okay? So we always put the attention on the patient in the language. Except, well, now, what about this? Is there any time, when do I use the passive? How about this? When do I use the passive? All the time?
No.
Interesting. If I'm always thinking about the patient, should I always use passive? No.
No.
When do we not use it? So, guys, we use passive when. I'm going to ask for Camelia, Anthony, Shara, if you know this. When do
We
we?
use passive when we describe what is being done for the patient, isn't it?
So we
I'm
use
trying to think
passive for the actions of what?
of this object.
Of
By
the
medical professional.
medical professions. Medical professionals. You guys should not talk about yourself, right? Action of the medical professional equals passive. But what about this? What if I say something like, look at this, guys. Mr. Smith returned to his home. Should that be passive or should that be active?
This is active.
Active.
Active, right? Is it in OET, is it correct to say Mr. Smith returned to his home?
Yes.
No,
Who said no? Omi, why not?
because in the medical setting, we are doing action for the patient.
Wait a second. Are we doing this action?
No.
He is going home, right? Let's say, Omi, that he's walking, he can do it, all right? The actions of the patient or not medical professional, active or passive, guys?
Oh, active, here active.
Active.
Active, right?
Active.
Things that the patient does, we use the active. Things that we do, not me, I'm not a nurse, but things that nurses do, we use the passive. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, here's a problem though. What about like the actions of the body? Or the actions of objects? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, active. Active.
Like, do I say his blood pressure increased or was increased?
No. Oh, increase.
I think we can do both because sometimes
Increase.
blood pressure was increased by medication.
Yeah, sometimes we'll say the medication, exactly, right? So I'm just talking about usually.
We can say it's the result of medication.
His blood increased as a result,
Not
yeah?
increase.
Of the
Increase.
medication, exactly. This one is active, right? This one is active and this one is
Passive.
passive. So what should I do? Which one should I usually use, active or passive? What do you guys think?
Active.
I think passive
Active.
better.
It's actually not. So you can say that. Who's speaking then? You can do that, but usually it would be active. Okay? Does that make sense? Not always, but usually. How often is usually? How many times? What percentage?
It depends on the.
I usually go swimming.
80%.
It's like 80%. It's a high percentage of times. Okay. There might be occasionally sometimes when you're going to use active. Why would you use, sorry, there might be sometimes you're going to use passive, okay, but you guys don't need that for this, for today, okay? I just want you to remember these things. Action of medical professional, passive. Actions of the patient,
Active.
active. Actions of the body, actions of objects, usually active, okay? That's what you need to just remember for now. So for example, this, Mr. Smith, is he the subject or the object here?
Object.
Is a subject.
Not subject. Yes.
He's actually the subject, right? And returned, what's that?
Verb.
Verb.
That's verb, and then we have here
Object.
indirect object, okay? So, does this make sense so far? Put your hand up if you want to ask me some questions, but I think we've got some ideas on the board. The passive is when you start the sentence with an object, okay? We use it to change the attention to the patient. It sounds more formal, it sounds professional. These are the rules in OET. Anyone got any questions? It's a great time to ask me. Anything you want to ask me, please ask.
Alan,
Yes, go on, Anna.
yeah, if in the case not the same like the patient or the patient has been instructed, can I use passive?
The patient, well, so that would be passive, yeah, the patient has been
Okay.
instructed. Now, what's the difference with this one, guys? What's this one?
This is present perfect passive.
Yeah, and do we say the patient in OET?
No.
No, we don't say, we say the name.
So we could say Mr. Smith
Yeah.
has been instructed to eat. Now that one is just present perfect.
Perfect continuous.
Okay. It's not the continuous. It's
Oh,
the present perfect passive. Oops.
passive.
We will study this later this week. Later on this week. But we can't talk about it now. Okay, it's too many things at the same time. Any other questions? Promise we definitely need to talk about that, Anna. It's really important, but we'll do it later on this week. Okay, one last thing. This is really important. If you have no questions for me, I have a question for you. Is the passive a tense? Is it a tense? Omi, you're saying no. Does everyone agree? Is it a tense?
No.
Tense. Like past simple, present perfect, passive. It's not tense, right? What is it then? Mustafa, do you know? Naomi?
Yes, it's a voice to change focus.
What do we call it though? It's got a name. We don't call it a tense. We call it the passive
Voice.
a voice.
It's a voice to change the focus.
Yeah. And like you say, Mustafa, it's a voice for changing the attention, right? It's like a change attention voice, okay? So guys, remember, this is not a tense. Common confusion is to think this is like a tense. Tense, it is not. Okay, any other quick questions before okay. Today, we're just doing introduction to passive, okay? Any doubts or problems? Okay. What I thought we would do now then is we can just do some practice together. All right. Tomorrow it will be more complicated. Wednesday we can maybe do present perfect. It's going to be more and more complications. But for today it should be really easy. Okay. So can I show you a sentence? Can I show you guys some sentences?
Yes, thank you.
Omi, now, can you look at this one, Omi? Can you read that? What does it say? Oops.
The The doctor administered her to hospital.
Administer.
Admitted to her to the to hospital.
Naomi, is that correct? Can I do that in OET?
No,
Why not? Why not?
because this is when you told us when the professional doing some things, we should use passive.
Okay, does everyone agree? We should not be saying the doctor. Have you ever
Yes.
seen that?
Yes.
You will never do
Yes.
that, right? Okay, so Omi, you're going to change this to passive now, please. Can you tell me?
Mr. Smith was admitted.
So yeah, we have to give her a name. So why don't you just say she?
Oh, sorry, Mrs. Smith or she.
Say she, her. This is the objective pronoun. This is the
Yes, yes.
subjective pronoun, yeah? So she was
Admitted to our hospital or to hospital.
To the hospital.
we normally say, very good point, Anthony. We normally say our if we are inside the hospital, right? But it depends, Anthony. Sometimes it might be to the, yeah. It depends on who is the writer. Do they belong to that hospital? Usually you do for discharges, but not always. Anthony, can you do this next one? Anthony, the doctor. So can you read that? Yeah.
This is passive.
Should be passive. Agreed. So the doctor prescribed antibiotics. Can you give me the sentence? What's the passive?
Yes, the antibiotics was prescribed by the doctor.
Now, see, even with really simple things, there are errors.
Right.
So was or were?
Where?
Where
Anthony?
prescribed.
Anthony, was or were? He's gone.
Okay, where? Because it's
Because
plural.
plural. Good man, right? It's easy to forget that it's plural, so change to were. Antibiotics were prescribed.
By doctor.
By the
Now,
doctor.
now, guys, do I say by the doctor? Is that correct?
No.
No. Usually in OET, we never really mention the doctors or the nurses. We never normally say that. We just say were prescribed.
This is the usual formal structure for these types of classes.
Okay, so here I am with Edwin. Hi, Edwin.
Hey, Paul.
Hi, nice to see you. Okay, so Edwin, you are an OET hero, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, super. So where do you live?